the first to know Nsem-Pii TV.
And Parliament, I deja because honorable Afenyo marking etimi raise important notices in the floor of Parliament, you know. Debate akoso on appointment of Baffoe as Chief Justice. The chairman and other committee nano etimi ede ne nanudwa atudwa other parliamentarians Rikopokumo Muntakamo obi asori aka Nsem Sami Awuku ede Nsem tudwa the reason why the Baffoe a Chief Justice to say Nsem more kekafa tokono ho say tokono NDC so be Chief Justice after so kwaya fa so yi no mra kwan so na wo say yi no amanfo a Parliament be it the NDC majority caucus no ekeka Nsem eka Baffoe the reason why the 17 years standing as the Supreme Court judge no ebeboa no na owo so much experience was say utimi the Chief Justice na Afenyo marking asorigina. In fact, we make it stands very clear on the floor of Parliament. Wama Bagbin ehun the need say even assembly that's what court pending court na ayini our nini attorney general mo ebe file for defense normal filing no mama assembly no hanging for so longer and yetimi afechire nominate obi amanaye acting Chief Justice nene abedu floor of Parliament yebegya tum amana be the substantive no very worrying in the days of a year Jonajakunkufo bibi sense sa nomani nyina ensida enti umie kwoti nsem a Afenyo marking. In fact oma ne details no very very sensitive any aid nyan pamadi National Democratic Congress come no more na Baffoe kakere de so no chese over just 2 years to be a Chief Justice enti akoye award kekene de man because he has been with legal terms for 30 years 17 years for a year ne justice as Supreme Court judge near the Adintino any High Court judge any Appeals Court judge enti why as a judge for 17 years into our experience into Yamano a Chief Justice. That is the case of the majority. Say omu is a papa no experience into no young Chief Justice in the mano. Nyi tokono floor goes usha. That is the debate on the floor of Parliament. Nyi kwoti Afenyo marking.
Said, I shall proceed to say that for the first time under the 1992 Constitution, a sitting Chief Justice has been removed pursuant to Article 146 of the Constitution. Mr. Speaker, that removal effected on 1st September 2025 following recommendation by a committee chaired by His Lordship Justice Gabriel Puaman has generated unprecedented litigation challenging its constitutional validity, procedural regularity, and legal effectiveness. Critically, several proceedings were filed before her ladyship's removal was finalized. These are contemporaneous constitutional challenges asserting fundamental and irredeemable flaws in the Article 146 process. The removal proceeded despite these pending objections. These objections now remain unresolved before multiple courts of competent jurisdiction. Mr. Speaker, we, the minority, hold the view that there has been inconsistency in the approach in this matter, and that if care is not taken, this country that we all seek investment for may not attract that needed investment. Mr. Speaker, as we speak, the prima facie findings of the Council of State remain unpublished. Two, as we speak, the very report that recommended
Honorable Member, I thought your reference to this matter was a matter before the House.
Yes, Mr. Speaker.
But what you are talking about is not before the House.
Mr. Speaker, then let me use the phrase well. Let me rephrase it for the purpose of clarity. Mr. Speaker, my submission is to the effect that the matters giving rise for this motion to be taken are such that we, the minority, still believe that there are serious matters for the constitution of our republic. Mr. Speaker, and I say so because today we consider this nomination, and you have made it clear that our approval or otherwise does not bring a finality within the context of the rule of law, which I agree. I'm not contesting that. But it is our view, most respectfully, that one, the fact that the prima facie determination is not in the public space is of concern to us. Two, the fact that the recommendation, the report that gave rise for the final decision of His Excellency the President is also not in the public domain is of concern to us. Mr. Speaker, we contend that for the purposes of transparent democracy, the era where the citizens require information, it should have been an instinctive, inherent decision to have released the report, because, Mr. Speaker, we hold a view that this was no less a matter because it was dealing with an organ of government, of state, the judiciary. That is our contention. Mr. Speaker,
Honorable Member, as I said, you are complaining about acts of another arm of government.
Mr. Speaker, I hope my time is being stopped.
Not Parliament. Not Parliament.
No.
And those matters are not before Parliament. And so I have consistently guided you and your colleagues to deal with the matter before Parliament. Continue with the others at the proper forum, not the floor of Parliament.
Mr. Speaker, we are not litigating those matters in Parliament, but those matters gave rise to this, what is before us. So what I'm trying to do is to give a background to the very matter before us, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, the Honorable Erikopoku in his submission argues with some force that executive manipulation started in Kufuor era. I found it very rich. And he tries to use that to justify the concerns that we are raising, to say that we are acting in double standard. No, Mr. Speaker, in President Kufuor's era, no Chief Justice was removed. Mr. Speaker,
Honorable Member,
Mr. Speaker,
please. I don't want us to go beyond what is before us, because many of the things that you say, because many of you were not born early, you don't know, you don't have the information. And in fact, I have bought some books, and I'm going to distribute the books particularly to leaders, so that you read to see the perception that we have given to the people outside there. They are very senior, intelligent people who held high office of state, who have written some books about Ghana politics. I have the books. I bought plenty copies to distribute to you free. I believe that will change your approach to how you go about the business on this floor. The the information that I have from experience in this house, if I disclose them, many of the things you say are incorrect. The presidents and former presidents, they know. You don't know. And they know that I know what I'm talking about. So please, confine yourselves to the matters before the House. Let's deal with that one.
Mr. Speaker, we are saying that the fact that there appears to be some right violation against Justice Araba Isabatokunu, we in the minority are unable to support this nomination. Mr. Speaker, the learned Attorney General, in his submission, alluded to the fact that even when Parliament approves this nomination and the court determines otherwise, the executive would be bound to respect it. He was right in saying that when a court makes a pronouncement, the executive will be bound by it. But what he did not say is the conduct of his office in the handling of the very matter that he is saying when there is pronouncement, they would be bound by it. Mr. Speaker, he himself submitted that the rules of court allows for extension of time application to be made. The question we ask is that why didn't the Attorney General, considering the enormity of this matter, act with alacrity? Mr. Speaker, the question that begs for an answer is that for all these periods, if justice was really meant to be done, why didn't the Attorney General file a defense? He is now saying that we shouldn't worry, and that if there is any positive outcome, the president will be bound by it. But we are interested in the process. The minority in this house is interested in the process, and it is contending that his actions amount to bad faith and denying the respected
Honorable Minority Leader. Honorable Minority Leader.
Yes, Mr. Speaker.
I acknowledge that the minority is interested, and you are expressing your concerns, and those concerns have also been expressed at the right forum. But I say this is not the forum for that. The Attorney General's conduct of conducting proceedings in that court is not before the House. That at all is not. And so please, let's handle what is before us. Then at the appropriate forum, which you are doing, you continue with it. You can just refer that this is what you are doing, but don't go into the details.
Speaker, with respect, Mr. Speaker, just place my time on ice for us to interrogate this preliminary matter. Mr. Speaker, well, I will leave it to you, but I would want to learn. Mr. Speaker, in my submission, I was responding to the Attorney General. These are facts that he has made known to the House. So I was responding to his own argument. I was not saying anything new. It is what he said that I was referring to. But if you say I shouldn't delve deep into it.
I stopped him.
Mr. Speaker, very well.
I stopped him.
Very well.
And I said he should come back to the subject matter on the floor.
Very well. Mr. Speaker, that's
please.
Mr. Speaker, if it is so, I will not belabor. Mr. Speaker, today, our colleagues who vehemently opposed just 2 nominations to the Supreme Court And when they had the opportunity, they brought 7. Their principled argument vanished into thin air. Today, Mr. Speaker, when our friends in the NDC argued against 2 nominations to the Supreme Court, when they had the opportunity, they brought 7 at a go. Today, the same people who opposed this nominee in 2008 are today saying that they are for his cause. Mr. Speaker, we leave everything to posterity. Every single thing that we are witnessing in this house is for posterity. But we believe as minority that in spite of all that is happening, which happenings is affecting the rights of a citizen, the best days of our country are ahead of us. Mr. Speaker, we would not belabor. We maintain our opposition to this nomination, and we reject same, and we are going to demand a secret ballot to reject this. We are going to demand a secret ballot to vote, to let Hansard record our opposition. Mr. Speaker, we know that there are members who have their own views and would want to exercise their right when there is secret ballot. We, the minority, are going to invoke that so that we take a secret ballot to register our dissent on this matter. Mr. Speaker, I wouldn't exhaust the 15 minutes. I will submit here to and then leave the
Nsem-Pii TV